tiny kitten's bag. What's this?
I guess, so those are all her meds.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah. And the lion and the heart have been some of her favorite pillows on the catio.
Aww.
That's phosphorus binder in
this
that
is
jar.
okay.
Yeah, so we didn't have a proper container.
That is just.
But that should go for a long time.
I can get that.
Yeah, and then I think the Symmetra might actually have a proper label on it. Oh, but it's probably for, who's it?
Mason.
Oh. So it's got a proper label for him. So, but I emailed you the amount and everything.
Perfect.
So, but if you have questions, just let me know.
No, that's awesome. And I need to do both these with Lizzie, so that's perfect.
That's so good. So Jennifer has experience with kidney disease, which is fantastic.
A little bit of experience.
But she can do fluids, and she can do all the stuff that Chloe may need going forward, which is so great. Here's a blanket.
Amazing.
I think that's a clean one. Which is nice. I think that's empty. I guess we could have a suitcase and a bag. It's a very cute suitcase.
It is very cute.
And then some little stuffies.
Oh my God.
These are all new and unscented, so I'm sure she does like some catnip.
Oh, perfect. We have some too.
And let's see here. She might like that. That might be fun. Oh, a cat dancer. These are always fun. With a catnip loaded mouse.
Oh my goodness.
I know. It's very cool.
Yeah. I'll just have to learn how to use all these.
And
oh, that's fun.
You've seen that she likes the laser
Yeah. I ordered one, so we'll get it hopefully in a couple days.
Oh, exciting. We may have one somewhere. This is called the Rainbowa. I don't know if they've played with that in here, but she'll probably like it. Her graduation hat.
Oh goodness.
Which she might wear for you.
We could try. I never really got them on Luke and Leia, but I honestly didn't try that hard.
Adorable kicker made by Jenna. Of course, Ratty with some long tags. Yep. Of all these things. And a handmade photo album for her. So cute. Oh my gosh. Adorable. And then she'll need some scented toys. The ear tip pillow has been quite popular. So, we'll put that in here. And
I want to open this, but I feel like I should leave.
I know, I didn't untie it because I was like, I will never get it back together in this beautiful bow.
Plus, I'll just start to cry. It's been a day.
We just came up with this idea this morning.
Just earlier today.
We're like, because I had been thinking, like, what? There's no point in her being here waiting for, because we had her here, we thought it was going to work out, because so that Sable had someone to be with when Cub left. And then Ramona's been just hanging out here because none of us want her to go back. But, you know, and then the other guys came in, and so then it was a full house again, and I was like, well, then I thought, well, we'll just go with the plan, and then you mentioned, when can she come home, and I was like, well, actually,
perfect.
I'm glad
I asked.
I know, it was perfect, because there's really no reason for her to be here, and she may as well start getting settled.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So that's going to work out great. And then Jennifer's going to take her to get her follow-up blood work next week.
Yeah.
And you're fully aware of all the...
Yeah.
Suzanne, please,
Oh my gosh, that's just so cute.
So, and Jennifer's prepared to, you know, do whatever needs to happen based on the blood work. So, usually we would wait to have the blood work in and then make a plan, but because she has been around for a while and she knows what's you know, going on, and that she's had some kidney experience, so it's very exciting. So, let's see. I'm gonna find a scented blanket for her.
Yeah, we can put it in
See which ones.
the carrier. Oh my god.
And I did give her some gabapentin around. It was a little after 5, so she should be good to go. Maybe this one is probably good because it's. Oh, I'm sorry. I offended all of them. Oh wait. This might be a little too scented.
Oh no.
I think someone has compromised this one, so you probably don't want it because it's wet. I will send you home a fresh pea blanket.
Aww. Did one of you guys pee on that blanket? Did that happen? Did that happen? Oh, hi. You're all very handsome. Very handsome. Hi. Hey. How are you enjoying your stay at the Tiny Kittens Hotel? Really? It has good amenities, I hear.
Let's see, how about, what else is going to be? Probably that red one. I feel like she's been on this red one, and the others have been on it, and it's not too dirty, hopefully. It's like the right amount of scented, hopefully. Not wet. Not pea scented.
Perfect.
Like it's America themed.
Oh, perfect. And I was born in the States, so that's perfect. Let's put it in the carrier.
And then she has her kitten scented ratty.
Yep.
But
And I have a scented blanket of my own.
Oh,
there,
perfect.
We'll just add this. I brought these.
Oh yeah. I'll get a pen. I know I still know how many we sent out without being signed.
Well, it's funny because I finally gave Belfie and Kohler's mom theirs because I ended up with all 4 of them. And theirs were signed, but signed. So that was probably just like, I remember like a zillion kittens were going home at the same time.
And she had broken her leg, and it was like, there was so much going on then. It was crazy. Yeah. So they're diplomas for the original Jedi kittens.
For the original Jedi kittens.
That I gave out without signing them, so they're not official.
I want to get them signed because I'm making this space at home that I think I'm going to frame them.
So cute.
And put them on the wall.
I don't remember what day. It was March something.
They
were
born
in
June.
April. June. Yeah, so you'll have to.
I'll put that. I think it was like the.
So I don't screw it up. Oh wait, there's 2. Now it's official.
Perfect. Now it's official. 2 years later. I love it. Holding on to his umbilical stuff.
That's right. I feel like we still have that in the fridge somewhere. Maybe. I don't know.
That would be impressive.
I know. I'd be very petrified. I have Allie and Bentley's on the
June 29th. It's right before Canada. That's what I remember.
So let's see. So I sent you her lab results so far and medical stuff, and I'll have to keep sending you things because there's a few more things, like all her deworming and everything.
And should I just call Mountain View? Is that the best?
Yeah, I think so. And I'll send them an email and let them know. But in case someone different answers the phone and who reads the email, you can just explain that you have Chloe kind of kittens. But I'll let them know.
Okay.
And then and then just any time that works for you, and then they'll do. And I let in the email I listed what all she needs to have tested, just so that you know. I think they know Mountain View, but
okay,
just, like what test she needs, and then hopefully her kidney numbers will be better.
We are open.
Yeah, I think it'll be so good for her to be. Like, it's been a little chaotic trying to get everyone to eat their own food here. So that's also one of the reasons I was
And
like,
we'll see how it goes. So my guys get meals, so there's no food sort of left out.
Yeah,
so she won't be able to sneak anyone else's food.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
And then, like, if you maybe keep a container of, like, the pea kibbles, and you can just, whenever you happen to walk by, like, this is what I do to Mason, just put, like, 10 of them in front of her, and she'll probably just gobble them right up.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
She needs the supplement. So, let's see. So,
and that's this.
Yes.
Okay.
Those, and I put them in, like a Tupperware or something like this with phosphorus binder and shake it up, and it just gets
kind
all
of like treats.
Yeah, and she loves them.
Good.
So
okay.
she should eat. Her appetite's been great. She seems like she's been feeling well. So I think you'll notice if she has an off day. I don't know how she'll do with the kittens. But she's done really well with these guys. So
yeah, and I have a room set up for her, and so we can see how it goes and.
I don't know if she's met pups before, but I think she'll be. I think she'll be fine. We'll find out. I'm excited.
We will, and they're, as pups go, they're pretty great.
Yeah, they seem like they're delightful.
Especially, I mean, Finn is great, but he's a little younger.
Oh.
Hi, Chloe.
Everyone is
Oh.
except her.
Look at oh, their faces.
looks, I
oh my
know.
gosh.
The looks they're giving me right now.
Hi. Oh,
And there's Shelby's on top of Sigma in the corner.
let me just take a quick peek over here. I don't want to get in anybody's face. Oh, look at you guys snuggling. Can't even tell you're in here.
I know. They're very stealthy.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh.
Oh, so Coridan, I was reading through our notes from 2015 on him, and I have him listed as a girl in 2015, and then somehow he's listed as a boy now, so I don't know if he's a boy or a girl. And I didn't actually check when he came in. I just
Assumed he was a boy.
he's a boy.
Oh my gosh.
But I did that with Maribel too. I thought Maribel was a girl when I brought him in.
Oh.
And then I had to apologize. Chloe, we're all going to miss you so much, but we're very happy for you. Oh, she's so beautiful. Okay, so let's see. She does not like the towel too much. So you may have a bit of a challenge getting her into a crate, like for her appointment or whatever.
And I have many different crates, like many different types, and
she might do best with like a top loading one.
Okay.
I don't know. You'll have to sort of
figure
out how.
I brought this one because it was the easiest to get out of my storage.
Yeah, no, that's a good size, and if she's wrapped, she'll probably go in there fine.
Hi, gorgeous girl.
But you can pick her up a little bit, but you'll have to probably work on her picking up skills.
Oh yeah.
And she knows when the towel or the blanket comes out that it's gonna wrap her. So you kind of have to you'll have to figure out where, like if she runs to a certain area to sort of hide,
right?
Or if she goes to a place, try to encourage her into a place where you can sort of get her covered. Once her face is covered, she's fine. And she's super easy to give meds to. Like if you have to do oral meds or her fluids, she's been really good. Like I didn't even have to towel her. Like if she was close enough to the fluids,
Right.
I could just give it to her while I was petting her, and she would be fine. But sometimes just approaching, she'll sort of scamper away. So she's
figure it out.
Yeah, you'll figure it all out. So, but if you need any help, you can just call.
Okay.
We'll end it.
Do you want? What if I take some of this stuff out to the car, and then it's all in there, and then I can just take her after.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
He's in here. She's so beautiful.
You're gonna have some fun.
We are pretty fun.
And
pretty low key.
That's good. She's gonna like that.
Yeah, you're joining a pretty relaxed house. Okay, I'm right back.
Okay, I'll get her ready.
You get to be with that. Oh, what a good girl. It's alright. Look. Oh, I knew I'm sorry. The last time I'm gonna have to do this to you. Okay, alright. Good job, everybody. Good job. Clo. Alright. Do this without. There you go. Oh, such a good girl. Oh, she's such a good girl. There she goes. Get your tail in there. That's like what you did when we were trying to trap her. She intentionally left her tail out of the trap for like 10 minutes so we couldn't trigger it. So, probably one of our best rescue stories yet.
Oh, I've been holding it together pretty good.
No. I know. If you start, then I'm gonna start, and then everyone's gonna start.
I've had like random bursts of tears all day as I was getting things ready, and I was talking to a couple of people, and every nice thing they said, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, me too. I've been like, oh, I had to make that video.
Oh, yeah. Which I haven't even looked at yet.
Well, it's
oh,
you've got the real thing now. So let's see. I'll get you a little towel to cover.
I love you so much. Hi, sweet girl. Hey, baby girl. I love you so much. Hi, sweet girl. Are we gonna go home? Are we gonna go home? Yeah.
She was pretty calm last time I took her in the carrier. But I had Bree with her. Bree was nursing the whole, like comfort nursing the whole time.
Aww.
But she was just purring and very relaxed. Like probably quite as relaxing without a therapy kitten. But
Traffic shouldn't be too bad on the way home. I should have thought to bring something like that.
oh, well, we have plenty.
Oh, good job, my love.
So you can cover if you think she needs it. But I hear Sable purring.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can hear
Her purr just like,
She's got
it's
the
like a
loudest
sound
purr.
system. Oh. It's almost your turn.
I know.
Yeah, I'll talk to your mommy.
She's been here the longest.
Is that crazy?
So
She's like, alright.
She's like, as long as there's a tall cat tree I can sit in.
Hi, Mona. Hi, girl. Oh, God.
Should we let's
Okay.
let her say goodbye to Ramona.
Yeah.
Someday maybe I will drop Ramona off at your house.
Yeah.
Say goodbye to your friend.
We'll be there.
Say goodbye.
There's a second carrier in the trunk. Bye, sweetheart.
But she's going to be very happy. You don't have to take care of her anymore.
Right? You did such a good job. Okay. Sorry. Okay.
Alright, I'll walk you to the door.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Here.
hi guys.
to get it together, everyone. Whew. All right, so as soon as I've, collected myself, it's gonna happen. We'll have the Ramona talk. Oh. Look, now oh gosh, I'm not going to scare you all again. Whew, all right. I can't look at the chat because you guys are gonna make me cry. Okay. Whew, think about sharks. All right. Okay. So anyway, this is a good time to talk about Ramona because I know a few people have been asking about what's going to happen to her now that Chloe's gone to her wonderful forever life. So the answer is that Ramona, as we have sort of known for a long time, is not happy in captivity. She does okay when humans aren't around, but she really doesn't like being with humans. And we don't think she's ready for life in a home. We don't think it would be her best case scenario at this point. We do think there's potential for her, and so this week sometime, when Chapel and Billings are ready to go back, we'll take Chapel, Billings, and Ramona back together, and you can rest assured that we will be watching her like a hawk, and we will work really hard to try to socialize her at the feeding station at the Happy Forest. We're there every single day, rain or shine. They have great shelter, they have lots of food, and obviously they get medical care. Her teeth are great, she's healthy. There's no reason for us to force her to live with humans at this point. And we have had really good success socializing many of the ferals at the feeding station, and then when they're ready on their terms, we bring them back in and find them homes. So none of us want to send her back to the forest. We all want her to be in a home, but we have to think about how she can live her best possible life. And at this point, she's been here a long time. She's had opportunity to be socialized by the snugglers. She's been with social cats and non-social cats, and she has not made the kind of progress with humans that we need to see in order to put her in a home. Going back to the forest is her best option at this time, but it is not the end of her story. It's not us abandoning her. It's not, throwing her out or, dumping her at the side of the road. It's a beautiful managed feral colony with lots of her friends and family, and she's going to be so happy and so relieved to be back. We've seen it so many times that we have the benefit of seeing the Happy Forest and how happy the cats are and how well cared for they are, and we also have the benefit of having returned several cats because they weren't ready, and then having them become ready, in a year or year and a half after returning them. So we know what's possible, and that's part of what makes me so confident that this is the right decision for her. So yeah, she knows where the feeding station is.
I'm sure that we will see her there, and we see Rula there all the time, which is great. We see probably 90% of the cats we return, although we don't actually return that many at this point, but they all stick around in the area. So when we first started, we were getting them from all different places and getting some that were just passing through, and so we didn't always see 100% of them afterwards. But some we've seen, like we had one that we hadn't seen since we returned her 3 years ago, and she just started coming back to the feeding station like this month. So they're all in the area. They actually get fed by a number of people, but our feeding station is like where most of them hang out, right? So anyway, Rollins is a great example of a cat that we brought him in for dental. We really wanted him to find a home because he's very friendly in the forest. He like comes up and sits on our laps and he drools all over us and purrs and just loves to be petted. But we brought him in here for a dental and he just completely shut down. He was scared, he was not happy, he was just not himself. And we kept him for several weeks because we were really hoping that he would sort of become himself again, and he didn't. And it's not fair to keep him in conditions where he's not happy. And knowing how happy he is in the forest, it was really hard for us to think about keeping him here longer. So we returned him to the forest, and he's back to his happy, confident, affectionate self. And maybe sometime, in the future, we'll try bringing him in again and see if he's changed his mind. But I am talking about it just so much because I know that people don't understand, and it's okay to not understand, because I wouldn't have understood this when we first started working with ferals. I didn't know, all my assumptions were wrong. So if I had been watching a cam and they said they were going to return a cat to the forest, I would have probably been horrified. So that's why I'm taking time to explain it. I know that a lot of people hear that and they think we're just, that they don't understand why we would make that decision. So hopefully that helps clear it up a little bit. We do we try to post video clips of the forest. I would love to be able to live stream from there, but it's kind of close to the border, and cell phone service is terrible, and it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, so we don't have good connections to do live streaming, although we have sometimes. So so that's a great point. This isn't goodbye, and all of us want to see her back here. We all love her. How can you not love her after just how amazing she was with Chloe? And she's such a sweet, wonderful cat. We want her to be happy. She deserves to have a life where she's happy, and right now that life is in the forest. So Chapel is another one that does not appreciate being here, and so I think he will be very happy going back when Billings goes back and when Ramona goes back. And we don't know yet how long Coridan and Shelby and Sable will meet, you're Sable. We know all about you. Sigma, Shelby, and Coridan are getting their dentals this week, so we'll see what their recovery will look like. Sigma is hiding under Coridan. So again, there's no reason to force Chapel to stay here with Coridan, because Chapel's ears are looking really good. We were treating ear infections. We checked his teeth. His teeth look great, so he doesn't need a dental yet. We'll check him again next year. And What else? Is the DNA in yet? No, and that is because I have not had a chance to do the paperwork to even send out the second batch yet. So I have a ton of samples at my house that I'm trying to get through the paperwork so that we can send it out. So I'm the bottleneck on the DNA study, but it's gonna happen soon. It's on my list, but things just keep coming up. We have a lot of high maintenance situations going on. So let's see, what else? Sorry for the rambling, Alex. You can see though, it's pretty neat how they how much comfort they take in each other, and you can see why we house them communally like this instead of in traps. Because when we're not in the room, they've been like playing and they snuggle with each other, they groom each other. It's very cute. So it's neat having the webcams and being able to see what happens when the humans aren't in the room. And to see how much they need each other's company and how that helps them feel more safe and confident. I know Chapel looks very sweet and innocent. He's actually been very good, and he only hisses and growls when I get too close. But he did give me elevator butt the other day when I was petting him with a wand. He gave like instant elevator butt, so that was kind of neat. So it's possible that any of these guys, after we return them, sometimes just having them in here for a short period will establish the kind of groundwork that we need to build trust out in the forest where they feel safe and comfortable. It just helps them sort of come around a little bit. So we'll see what happens, but we do bring in any cats that are ready. Oh, is it hard to hear? I'll turn it up. There, is that better? I think I turned it down last night because the toy was so loud, sounded so loud. What else? So, how do we know when they're ready to come back? They will usually start seeking out interactions with us, like they'll rub around our legs and they'll let us pet them and play with us and that sort of thing. It's a big adjustment for a cat that has lived outside and on a farm their whole life to come and become an indoor cat, and so sometimes they don't always make that transition super smoothly even when they are ready out in the field. But particularly for the cats that have had medical issues, we can't return them, and so we are forced to then socialize them, and so far it's worked out for all of them. Let's see. Ramona is more or less content inside, but she doesn't like humans. She doesn't like, anytime we try to approach her, she will hiss and smack, and like I think she bit Linda. And so you don't want to we don't want to force her to live with someone that she thinks is trying to hurt her, when she could go live in the forest with her friends and family, and then she can feel safe when she's having interactions with us. She doesn't have to feel threatened when she's having interactions with us. She definitely has potential. But, we are all hopeful that she will be back sometime, but, she's healthy, and there's no compelling reason for us to force her to live on our terms. When she will be happiest living on her terms. If she was sick or something like that, it would be different, but she's healthy, and she's been here long enough that if she hasn't, stopped trying to defend herself when we approach her, she's just not ready. So we have to think about what's best for her, and if we have a choice between, putting her in a situation where she's okay when there are no humans around, but feels threatened enough to lash out when there are humans try to approach her, or where she can be reunited with her friends and family and come to us on her terms. In my mind, it's her best scenario to be where she's happy all the time. So I know that not everyone will agree with that, and that's okay. And, everyone, you have to make your own decisions in your own situations, because every situation with every feral is different. So, but this is the best thing for Ramona right now, and I'm 100% confident of that. But I understand that it's hard to think about, and that not everyone may agree, and that's okay. Rula is coming regularly to the feeding station, which is good. She definitely remains suspicious of humans. I would be surprised. I think if she is going to come around, it's probably going to be a while, because she was pretty unhappy with us. So, but she's doing well, so that is good. The cats have multiple shelters in the winter that we put straw in, and they're actually quite warm because they all pile in there together, just like how they all pile in the catio. They do that in their shelters, and it stays quite warm in there. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the big you can't adopt a cat out that bites and scratches humans that try to interact with them. So, I mean, even our snugglers are experienced, and they know that that's a possibility. But so if the snugglers who have experience are, having bites and scratches, then imagine an adopter who doesn't have that experience trying to interact with Ramona. And I mean, it's hard, like trying to get her into a crate to go to the vet would be impossible. So her story is going to have a different path than some of the others, but
hopefully she will come back to us at some point. Yeah, so Sable is going to be leaving soon, hopefully. Very looking forward to that. Yeah, I mean, it's hard for I'm definitely going to be sad to see Ramona go back, but only because I won't be able to see her every day. So that's like me being sad for myself, not being sad for her. I'm happy for her because she will be so happy to be back, but sad for me. So I understand feeling sad. Like, that's totally normal to feel sad that we won't be seeing her every day. On the cam and stuff, but the feral feeders will definitely be seeing her every day, hopefully. She didn't show up every day before she came in, but I imagine she will. I'm hoping anyway that she'll show up pretty regularly. I think my internet connection just dropped. Find out. No internet. There we go. So we will post videos and stuff of her out there. We'll post updates. And so yeah. Yeah, we're right now we're thinking we are thinking maybe Wednesday for her to go back, and she will go with Chapel and Billings most likely, so they will be going back together. Info about how to socialize a feral outside. So what we do at the Happy Forest is we bring toys and we play with them. Some of them are interested in playing, some of them aren't. We bring like tuna, we'll try to hand feed them treats, tuna, things like that. Or just start slowly moving closer, like over time, as you feed them, sit there and slowly move closer so that they know you bring the food and that you're safe. It kind of depends on how receptive they are, but we've had a lot of success with just playing with them and using treats to give them positive interactions with us, and then building trust slowly over time. Technically, yes, Stashy is up for adoption because he's being fostered with Kimsey's. So if someone were to really fall in love with him and be a great home for him, we would probably consider that, although I'm not sure. Kimsey's may have changed her mind about that, but officially he's just being fostered, so we're leaving options open there just in case. So let's see what else. Trying to see questions. Cisco's doing great. Cisco's coming a bit closer. Even Savina comes a little bit closer these days. So Cisco and Savina were two that were really happy to go back. And I see a comment, I just hope that she's happy when she goes back. I agree. If there's some weird fluke and she doesn't seem happy when she's back, we will bring her right back in. But having returned probably more than 100 cats to the forest, we've had the benefit of seeing like 100% of them. Tails go right up. They rub against their friends. They're happy to be back. So we'll try to get videos so that you can feel better about it. Kittens leaving. Kittens, I think the Kinks are going this weekend, and I think the Tabbies are going sometime this week, but we don't have it confirmed yet. So just waiting on Facebook pages, and then we'll post. So I think everything's going well there. So then we will finally have it will just be Aura. Puffs, the miracle kitten, is having some hip issues, so it'll be good for me to have a little bit more time because he needs a little bit of extra work right now. And Aura is getting her spay next week. Wait, 10 days. Yeah, 10 days from now. And I need to be able to provide the care she needs leading up to her palate surgery. So we probably won't take in 30 cats again at once, God willing, I hope. Because we still have, we're down to 6 Harvey cats, which is great. 2 more just went to a barn, and we're hoping the 4 that you see on the catio, or I'm not sure, I don't know if they're out there. They loved the catio for the first week, and now they stay a little closer to the house sometimes. But those 4 we're hoping to get into a barn home like in the next week, and so And then Princess Consuela's kittens need a little more attention than they've been getting. So, the kinks did great with their neuters and no heart murmurs. So they both, Ray and Avery, grew out of their heart murmurs, which is what we were hoping. So, which happens in about 10% of kittens. They get heart murmurs as they're growing, and then they go away. So that's great. We still have Princess Consuela, Allie, and Bentley on a live stream, and then we'll keep this one going while there's cats here. Hopefully we will not have cats here forever, because we are going to have to move in about a month. In a month from now, this place will be empty. So, and I can't take any more at my house. So, we will definitely continue to operate. It's just going to be a slightly different scenario. We'll still have the live streams and everything, but we won't be able to accumulate so many cats at the same time until we get a new facility worked out. So anyway, that's, I think, all the babbling I have. And hopefully we will Mason's doing great. He's very stable. He'll probably be due for more blood work in another month or two. But he's doing really well. And Puffs is doing great. He just had his first dental, but he's having some issues with his hips, which is kind of just kind of a bummer. So that's just part of the deal when you have a special kitten. Have to deal with all the whatever issues come with that. So I'm a little bummed about that. We'll see how things go. I don't know when Mason will meet Allie and Bentley. Probably not for a while, because he's got Aura to keep him entertained. And they've been so healthy so far. So anyway, thanks for watching, and there are new rads posted at Tiny Tapeworms of his hips, and like we can see that there may be some rubbing going on between the ball and the socket, which is not good. So they think that the next step would be a surgery to remove the part that's rubbing. So, but I think I have to come to terms with it. So it's just me projecting my human thoughts onto him. But we will consult with all experts possible to get the very best possible next steps for him. And hopefully it won't come to that for a little while still, but if he is in pain at some point, then we will have to do something to relieve his pain. So yeah, so I know it's a bummer, but for the most part he's doing really well. So he has had kind of a rough, yesterday was not the greatest for him, but thankfully we do have good pain meds, and he I gave him some pain meds and then he definitely felt better. But right now it's just every now and then he'll get, like, I'll be able to tell that his hip is bothering him, and if it becomes like more frequent, then we'll have to do something. But hopefully, so, and the bionic legs, I think what happened was the specialist who's working on it couldn't figure out a way to do it with his knees hyperextended. So I think we have to, I don't know. Yeah, that is a good way to put it. It's not unusual for amputees to have joint problems, and there are surgical options to help. So that's what, yeah, so anyway, but he's okay, and so I'm just like carrying him around, and he doesn't do like rest very well, so I'm trying to limit his options for kamikaze kitten activity, like jumping off of things and stuff, but he's not very compliant about that. Chapel's having a good sleep over there. I totally want to just get a little feel there in Coridan and see if he's a boy or a girl. Now after the question has been introduced. Anyway, yes, Dr. Fitzgerald. So for Oscar, the bionic cat, he had his knees and his ankles, which is why those implants were so successful. But Puff's only has knees, and his muscles have pulled his knee joints into hyperextension. Anyway, it's complicated, but we'll work it out. Okay, so thanks for watching. I will leave you now because I've got to move on to the next thing on the list. Good job, team. Coridan. Sigma, and so Shelby's on the bottom, Sigma's on the top. Sigma's Cassidy's mom, Puff's mom. Arrange the cameras, and then well, I guess that's pretty good. Alright, Sable. See you later.